Back in 1701, long before this land became a nation, Cadillac planted the colors of France on Detroit's shore. And thus began a rich and inspiring history which has brought Detroit to its finest hour.
Detroit State of Mind is on the air! Bringing you the sounds of Detroit's underground, straight to your ear holes. Rock, punk, and metal. If it's Detroit, you'll hear it here. Unless you're addicted. Red Devils on the side. Smokies on. And now, your overlords. Rich and Dave. Loud away. I'm feeling risky, kid. Georgia's all mine. I'm stuck here in this Detroit state of mind.
Detroit State of Mind is on the air.
Episode 48.
Yes, sir.
What's up, fellas?
We got letters from Abel in the house.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you
Is that
so
like
much.
a Dear John letter?
Yeah. Yep.
Did we talk about this like 5 months ago, like at Camp Champ or something like that?
We may have.
Yeah.
Camp Champ was a
Was it blur?
little bit, you know.
Did you get a little hammed up, did you?
No, but it was so.
You walked up to us and we talked about this, man.
We did, but I mean, like, I talked to you got to understand that, like, Camp Champ is one of those things that it's like, you know, you talk to like 5 million people and
That's
half
true.
of them are so fucked up that you just like the conversations are just like in out. So
Valid.
I mean, you know, yours was decent though. I mean, hey, I'm sitting here, right? So
Okay,
I mean,
there you
happy
go.
with something.
You just want free promotion. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all.
Hell yeah.
And the cats.
Right? Exactly.
Go around the table, tell us who you are and what you do.
Oh, well, I'll start at the head of the table. Namesake of the band, Justin Abel, rhythm guitarist and vocalist.
I'm Ben Linares. I play bass guitar and I do backing vocals.
Kate DesArmo and I drum.
Oh, this is going to be fun with him. We're going to have to fuck with him.
I got big arms because of drum, right?
He's been
Sorry,
getting
man.
better. We did an interview recently, and he talked like a lot. It was great. My name's Drake Ely. I am the lead guitarist, and I make all the angry cat noises.
Nice.
So how long has Letters from Abel been a band?
Just past 3 years in October. Like just recently, it was October 19th when I asked these guys to be in the band. So just 3 years.
So are you the original member? Like you formed this outfit or what?
We all went to school together at a school called the Detroit Institute of Music Education, DIME for short.
There seems to be a lot of people that come here that have gone to that school.
Wasn't that dude from Rabbit?
I think so. I think a whole bunch of them. I think
yeah,
Elena went there or something like that,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe.
too. Or
It had a very far reach. I mean, there was a lot of. I mean, it was a school for 8 years, so I mean, there's a lot of fucking people that came through.
so it's not around anymore. Or?
No. So, well, what happened to it was they were accredited through a school in Colorado, and they pulled the accreditation from the contract that they had, and so
They just shut it down then, or
they got bought out by Oakland University, and Oakland was like, yeah, we're not gonna run like a whole school for you guys. So like you could be a program for Oakland, but like, you know, Dime was like a school in itself. It had a building downtown, and like, you know, it actually had shit that was like well established and shit. So I mean,
Right.
like, you know, it's just completely
so
different.
it's
than it
all
is now.
music based then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was literally like there was 4 degrees, and they were all music-based degrees.
Oh, that's
So-
cool as hell.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it was awesome, and it was a great opportunity for, you know, musicians our age and everybody's. You know, I mean, we went to school with anybody ages 18 to 35. You know, I mean, there was such a melting pot from people of all over Michigan. You know, from, you know, I mean, he came from Adrian. You know, we had kids from Midland coming out, and you know, so I mean, there was kids from everywhere in Michigan coming to that school, and we all met and.
You guys met at that school?
Yeah. We all met at the school, and I met Cade first, and I kind of knew that like I wanted him to be my drummer, and so I knew that I wanted to start a band with him, and then at the end of the semesters at Dime, they had a student showcase where they would like encourage students to put together bands and like, you know, put a performance on and shit like that, and so that was an excuse for me to just make a band anyways, and so I had asked these guys to play, and then that was our first performance was this student showcase down there, and that was December 2019. So
And you guys have been together ever since?
Yep, yeah. And
Awesome.
then he joined the band in June 2020, or like May 2020.
June, July.
Yeah.
So then who was the original guitar player then?
It was another kid that we had went to school with. His name was Ben. So we had 2 Bens in the band originally. So
Well, that's why you got axed.
yeah, you know, conflict of interest, and he was a redhead too. So we can only there's only one.
Yeah.
Only one ginger
There's only
allowed
you
in
and
the
Dave
band?
Mustaine. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy, Hetfield.
I was just talking to Benny last night, and he was like, joke around with Rich about
Fuck
how he sounds like James
him.
Hetfield.
I still don't fucking see it, man. But you know, whatever.
I can hear it now.
You do what?
I can hear it now.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't get it either, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm flattered.
Are you?
That's about it, though. No. It's
there
fucking
any-
annoying,
Is there
actually.
any Metallica fans left?
I mean, that's how I feel about people saying I look like Dave Mustaine, though.
It's just the hair, man.
I know, but that's the thing. Is like people see somebody with red hair, they're like, "You look like this ginger," and it's like, no,
You
I
don't
don't.
mumble when you sing either.
Thankfully, no.
Right?
I try to enunciate a little
Get
bit.
him.
Yeah, you guys' set was like super strong, man.
Thank
like
you.
very unique. I didn't listen to you guys, not gonna lie. I just assumed you guys were gonna sound like Cyanide and shit. I don't know why I thought that, but like this is
You'd be a metal band, yeah.
Yeah, we have like a lot of rock, metal, whatever bands over here, and this is like a refreshing change, man. Like it was super freaking cool, man.
Well, I'm glad to be the change of pace. I mean, I know that obviously we met when I was doing my small tenure over the summer with Cydine and stuff, and I didn't really give you too much clues about what I was bringing in. Like,
no,
what my
and
band
quite
was.
honestly, I should have listened to, and maybe I did, and I just don't remember.
I prefer not to. I like to be surprised. Really.
Yeah, and I was pleasantly surprised, man. Like,
Well, I appreciate it.
it was
very
very
much.
cool set, man.
Well, thank you. I mean, we definitely
enjoyed it.
try very hard to be different in a city that I feel like, you know, Detroit is so dominated right now by metal bands, and there's so many great metal bands, and I'm not taking away from that at all. But in a city that's so dominated by metal bands, I feel like it's nice to be kind of different and be that, you know.
A lot of metal and punk bands.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, and so it's good to kind of be that difference maker, you know, the one that kind of sticks out a little bit. You know, Meg, Betty's girlfriend, said that we were the best intermission that anybody could ask for. So I think that
That's
kind of
a
sums it
badass
up.
compliment, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Or is it?
I don't know.
I thought it was nice. I thought it was
Like
nice.
everyone's going to the snack bar getting popcorn, and here comes you guys.
Like, you know, in between all the metal bands and shit, in between the monotony of that, you know, you get these really different sounds where, you know, I mean, we try to play a lot between grunge, punk, rock, metal, just kind of, you know, bringing in a whole lot of different shit and kind of trying to make it work, you know?
Yeah. So like, when you guys play shows, are you lumped with these metal bands, or like, I mean, is that just because you have to? Like, there's really not much else to play or other bands to play with, or
I mean, it definitely happens more often than not. I mean, I definitely feel like we play with a majority of metal bands for sure.
is the crowd responsive?
Yeah,
They digging
yeah.
it?
I mean, you know, we've definitely. I mean, we've been lucky enough to play really all over Michigan. I mean, we've played and
Yeah, I've noticed like Detroit crowds though, they're open to everything.
Yes, they really are.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the good thing is that, you know, a lot of people are coming out to hear just a bunch of different shit, and as long as you're playing your own shit, people
Yeah.
are really fine with it.
Yep.
So, I mean, you know, we're really thankful that, you know, we can play with any bands that we play with, you know, and we have so many talented bands that we love playing with, you know, and
Yep.
I mean, you know, we're never ever going to be upset about it, but it's like we were just talking about, you know, it's like being the best intermission around, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to hear nothing but metal tonight except for Letters from Abel, you know what I mean? And it's so
But
it's
you
a-
guys will stick out because of that.
and
though.
that's
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
and
You know?
that's what I'm saying. You know, it's a good thing to have. You know, it's good to be that difference maker and to kind of, you know, be the one that sticks out. And you know, people go home, like you said, you were sitting here humming the songs after we played them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's, you know, the difference between, you know, you can't obviously, like, a metal song will get stuck in your head, but not in the essence of something that's really catchy. You know what I mean? And it got a good hook and something that you
Right.
can legitimately hum on the way
I
outside.
walk
you know?
around humming Morbid Angel all the time.
Hey, you know, well, to each their own. To each their own.
I crush a priest for the fucking brutal church.
So you,
Me.
what got you started in music?
My grandfather, actually, which they have all met, and
Yes.
they say that he's future me because we dress exactly the same.
He is.
And when I was growing up,
He still dresses the same as you, or
Yeah.
vice versa, or whatever. Or?
yeah, well, the causation of it is when I was growing up, he bought me all these guitar shirts, you know. But he'd be, you know, at Kroger, Kmart, whatever, and you go into the clothing aisle and be like, "Oh, that looks good for Drake," but he's like, "It'll look good on me too."
So he's buying two of them.
Exactly. We just ended up with the exact same wardrobe, which I'm not complaining about because man has good taste. But yeah, he.
You guys like twin for Halloween, and
Yeah,
It
we
would be
should.
so easy. It'd be so fucking easy, dude.
Does he play?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
he's mainly a blues guy, and that's kind of what I grew up on is blues because of that. But
Hey,
he's
everybody-
actually
that's where most of it starts.
yeah, for real.
He's the guy that kept me from quitting guitar. I took a lesson, and it was like sheet music, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm gonna keep going. And he was like, come home, you know. He's like, there's a little thing called smoke on the water, you know.
Right.
I was like,
Black Sabbath's all blues.
Yeah.
Sabbath's all blues.
That's true. Yeah.
So is he still playing, or
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
is he in any bands or anything, or?
He doesn't play out much, but he may actually be on.
We jam with him.
Yeah.
We jam with him.
I was
Really?
about to say
Yeah.
so our kind of like main recording base for the record that we're about to put out, Servants of Sound, our first full length album, is in Adrian, where he came from, and he kind of gave us the setup and stuff. And every time we go up there, we kind of take it upon ourselves to stop by his grandpa's house, and we all have these like jam sessions, and it's a really really cool moment because I mean, like, you know, I mean, he's been playing for so long that it's like he does shit that's just like you don't even like think of, like, he just like, it's like him and his guitar are just like one thing. Like he just like literally just does shit that you're like, I wasn't even thinking of that. Like it's really really cool. It lays down really really cool lead lines. We're actually talking about probably getting him in the studio for We have when we
have him playing a track.
Yeah,
man.
when we first started
DSOM.
playing as a band, we like with him, we had a medley of Cream songs that we played. We played White Room, Sunshine of Your Love, and Sitting on Top of the World. And we want to get in the studio and record those just because it was so much fun for us and we love that band. Cream is one of our biggest influences altogether. And
Stop by and record them.
hey, we're
Hey,
down.
man.
We're
We'll do
definitely
it.
down for that. And we want to get his grandpa on for like a
more
lead.
practice we get, the better.
Hey, and I'm cool with that. I'm definitely open to it. We definitely, we want to get his grandpa on here and kind of get it like like a kind of a special like
So
lead
you going
line
for the Cream
feature.
vibe, or are you doing your own thing with it?
We kind of, it's kind of like a best of both worlds scenario, like we kind of do our own thing with it, but we keep it kind of like close to the nail. Like, me and him especially, we love watching like live Cream performances, and so we've taken a lot of the shit that they've done live, Jack Bruce vocally, and him especially on the bass and shit, and we've kind of done our own little.
What is that?
The Exorcist.
Oh no, I didn't know it was a phone. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Just like, and okay, here come
It's
the
called
demon.
Tubular Bells.
Oh, okay.
Accompaniment.
Tubular bells.
It is. That's the theme song from The Exorcist.
No, I know it. It's just funny. It's just funny. But yeah.
Carry on.
So yeah, we kind of do our own thing with it, and kind of give it our own breed. But it's definitely kind of close to the nail. We love those guys, and we definitely want to kind of give it justice to those
I
tracks.
think if you're doing a cover song, if you do it exactly the same way,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like Weezer put out a whole cover album or
Yes.
whatever, and they're identical. And
Yeah.
like, why do I even need to
Yeah.
listen to this
Right.
crap?
I'm not a Weezer guy, anyways.
Well,
so-
regardless, I'm just saying,
no, but I get what you're saying.
put
though.
your own flavor on
Yeah,
it.
you gotta
Absolutely.
spin it your own, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
110%.
Drummer boy, what got you started?
What got me started? Oddly enough, I was an
This won't take long, will it?
I was an orchestral drummer actually for a very long time. I was a snare drummer specifically.
Yeah.
And I started out just doing band, marching, snare, and like
It's a good way to start,
just a
though.
lot of like symphony stuff. And I went to Interlochen for a little bit. Oddly, couldn't afford it. It was too much money. It's like college tuition.
Yeah. Fuck it, bought a drum
for high
kit.
schoolers. Yeah, and like I found that you can actually get the same, if not a better, education from people around you. So you can find really good
Life.
drum teachers everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So like, I actually somebody in my hometown. His name is Jake Lalone, and he actually like really drove my like passion for drumming, especially like drum set specifically, and like it became.
Did he push
so
you to buy your first kit?
No, I actually my
Teach you your first paradiddle.
my drum teacher, when I was an orchestral drummer, he actually gave me a vintage Ludwig, and
Oh, wow.
he
You still have it?
Yeah, it was like it was really old. It had been sitting away, and he was like, if you can fix it up, it's yours.
Oh, hell
And
yeah,
so
dude.
I fixed it up completely, polished it up. It's like pretty much brand new. It's chrome.
Is that your main?
over
Is that what you play with now, or?
wood. Yep, absolutely.
Hell yeah, man. That's
And
freaking
it's-
cool as hell.
It's from the '70s, and it's durable as hell. Like
They make good stuff
Yeah,
back then, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like, I don't know, just really that whole my teachers really drove me, and like my mom, she was a flautist, and so she was like super into
I love that
music.
word.
Yeah.
It sounds so
And,
dirty.
But she really
She flouts.
encouraged. Yeah, she really encouraged me to pursue music professionally and like pursue my dreams no matter what. Like because it just seemed like such a wild, unprofessional, like not unprofessional, but like unpredictable field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's definitely unpredictable.
Yeah,
But,
I'd say.
yeah, no, that's pretty much what got me started. Like,
So, did your mother play in bands or like do anything? With,
oh yeah, she played all the way into college and stuff like that. She had me when she was 21, so
right.
um,
So you basically ruined her career, basically.
yeah, I basically
Way to
ruined
go,
it.
kid.
Yeah.
So
Oh, here
now-
comes drummer boy.
now
Shit's
I have
ruined.
to do better and buy her a Corvette.
There you go. There you go.
Nice. Mom's
So,
gotta
so
have
what
dreams,
about
too.
your father? Like, did he does he play anything or?
I don't know.
Never mind. Moving on. Ben, how about you? That got awkward really quick.
Yeah, the guy's probably a dick.
For me,
I am not completely
so
like
my parents
other
didn't play or
people.
anything, or my grandparents, and his case. Well, your parents played too. I mean, your dad played guitar, but yeah, my parents didn't play or anything. When I was about like 14 or 15, I just started like to just really get into music. I know a lot of bass players. It's for bass players specifically. A lot of them start out playing guitar, because they want to.
All bass players are failed guitar players.
Yeah, that's the famous saying.
And there's only 4 strings. It's easier.
Exactly. It's easier. It's easier. Exactly.
It is not easy.
No, watching you play it, you're all over that fucking bass, dude.
Oh yeah.
You're definitely a bass player,
Thank
man.
you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I started out on the bass. I've always wanted to be a bass player. Ever since, like I said, like 14 or.
So you never wanted to get laid, huh?
No, I definitely didn't do it for the girls because then I would do guitar.
I think bass is way sexier than guitar. Like the
I
groove.
would
like
agree with that.
You're right.
It is. It
Yeah.
just
But
It
they
is.
don't know that. They're like, oh, that's. But they don't know.
But the right ones know.
They're like,
They
oh,
don't
that's
know
a,
that.
That's a pretty big
It's
guitar.
like, here, sit
you're
on my
playing.
aunt, baby. Boom.
Beautiful sounds.
Right?
Slides right off.
But yeah.
You watch him play, he's like slapping, popping,
yeah,
like he's fucking
fuck
all
yeah.
over that goddamn thing, man.
I'm looking at the screen, but I'm paying attention.
It's Louis Johnson. I've always been into Louis Johnson. When I was really young.
Who dat?
Yeah.
He was. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Brothers Johnson.
Sounds familiar,
They're a
but I don't
band
think
from
so.
the 70s and 80s. They're a really popular like funk and blues band. But specifically Louis Johnson, he played bass on Michael Jackson's album Off the Wall.
Oh,
No.
shit.
Which is an album that I grew up listening
Don't let her
to.
do that.
I know. I'm trying.
What is she doing?
Chewing on his cord.
Well, fuck that. Beat her.
No.
No.
Olive, come here. Come here.
Collective no.
Come here. There you go.
Trying to chew on the cord there.
Stop it.
But Off the Wall by Michael Jackson is an album I grew up listening to.
It's a good album.
Yeah, my mom and dad were.
It's a real good
into
album,
that
actually.
album, and they would play that in the car all the time, and so I would hear those bass lines on that album.
Is Billie Jean on that one?
No.
No,
It's not?
no. That one.
I know nothing about that album then.
That one has
Billie
like,
Jean's on Thriller.
Off
I
the
think.
Wall, obviously, and then there's Rock with You, Get on the Floor, which is like one of my favorite.
Is that all
bass
Quincy
lines.
Jones produced too?
I believe, possibly. I'm not sure.
That man's a
think it
genius.
I'm not sure on that one. That I might be wrong on that.
I think
Michael
he did.
Jackson lore, but
He's touched every record in the 20th century,
Yeah.
probably.
Pretty much, probably, right?
Him or Geffen.
yeah, that was definitely like a big like record for me that like shaped like my bass playing kind of and got me into music. So
Justin,
Yes. All right. So
go. Yes.
when I was like really young, like 3 or 4, some of my first.
What, last week?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Like 3 or 4, 2 weeks ago,
Yes, a day.
being attacked. But
All my trouble seems so.
3 or like when I was bitch.
He's actually being
I'm
attacked.
actually being attacked, and it's because of Ben.
I'm trying to get her over here.
I'm being eaten alive.
I'm going to throw her upstairs.
No, just leave her. I think it's funny.
I think it adds an interesting dynamic.
And then there was blood.
Yeah. There always is.
Oh, poor cat.
Cat is
Throw in the hang in there baby cat
Yeah.
poster. But okay, so back to what I was saying.
Now I got to. Thanks.
When I was, please do. When I was like 3 or 4 years old, some of my first memories. My dad was like a really, really big Kiss fan. He was a 70s and 80s kid.
Who wasn't?
So some of my first memories were of like Kiss concerts in the early
Your
70s
dad's probably
and
my
80s.
age.
He probably is. And
I recall this old about 20 minutes ago.
I know,
Piece of
motherfucker.
shit. Carry on.
so some of my first memories were of those Kiss concerts, and instantly I was like, I mean, when some of the first things you're seeing is that, and you know that that's what life could be, you don't really want it to be anything else, you know what I mean? And so from then on, I mean, it was wanting to be a musician. Forever I wanted to be a drummer, and then when I was like 11 or 12, I kind of decided that I wanted to play guitar instead, and so I got my first guitar. Didn't touch it until I was like 13, and then when I was 13, I started learning guitar, taught myself how to play from then on, and I have sort of a musical history in my family. My great-grandfather was a barbershop quartet, and he had like a
Oh, that's
radio
cool.
show on WXYZ,
Oh,
played for the Buffalo Bills, played for presidents, played all around. Was like
Wow.
one of the most well-respected barbershop singers in Detroit. Is in the Music Hall of Fame in Kansas City.
These are big shoes to fill.
Yes, he's the, you know, I mean, later into my teens when I started learning more about that, and my mom started teaching me because that's her side of the family about it. You know, I mean, he was an opera singer in Italy, and that's how he met my great grandmother, and they came over here, and you know, to start a better life. And you know, no matter how much he worked, he never put down music. You know, until the day that he died, he sang songs. You know, and that kind of became my driving force of like, you know, okay, I really need to do this, you know, like I feel like I'm supposed to be doing this. And so that was when I kind of, you know, like really put it into high gear and was like, all right, this is what I want to do, and kind of changed it. And then when I went to school and met these guys, it was kind of funny. I've kind of like sang a little bit my whole life, but like not very much. And then when I got into college and we were going to do our student showcase, he was like, well, who's going to be our singer? And I was like, well, I guess I can try.
Right.
You know, and the song that we played was Breed by Nirvana.
Did it
And
come natural, or?
I mean, for the like couple months leading up to
That's no.
school, I had been practicing singing. So it kind of came out better than I thought it would. But I mean, like, if you listen to videos of me in 2019 or 2020 and you listen to me now, it's
Night and day different?
Yeah, like
Definitely
completely different.
developed like a you know,
A dynamic.
yeah. Over time, you know, it's developed a lot.
Well, it's probably confidence, though, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I mean, 100%. I mean, you know, the more that you do it, the more confident you get. But I mean, the work that we've all put in, you know, I mean, we try to make a large effort to practice at least 2 times a week, and you know, to have a show on every weekend. And you know, we're pushing our bounds more and more and more as we go on, and just trying to get better and strive for better and better. And that's something that we've really all tried to adopt over the past year, is just get better. When you think you're the best, try even harder, you know what I mean, and just keep pushing your limits. So I mean, it's something that we've really all tried to work really hard at. I mean, we've all come a long way since we started this band.
So you guys play every weekend?
We try to. I mean, after this, we have a show every weekend until we go to New York. We have a trip out to New York City where we're playing a few shows, and that's our first out-of-state trip since we went to Indiana like a year and a half ago.
Indiana don't count.
No, it doesn't really. It really doesn't.
It's like Toledo.
Exactly. You know, it's like you're just like dipping your toe out of Michigan. You're like,
Like, I was scared, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
I was
Indiana.
scared.
Yeah, I was scared in Indiana. Indiana's not.
We did Portland and Seattle. It was fun.
Yeah. That's where we want to. That's a spot that we're definitely aiming to go. Probably.
We have
next
connects
year's.
out there. We hook you guys up, man.
We would absolutely appreciate it, but
For a small fee, of course.
of course, you know, of course. What else could I expect?
He's talking 3 beers.
Right, exactly.
I can do this. Beers, smokes, we can do this.
You know, the practicing, it shows, because out of the 47 bands that have been here, you guys are probably the only ones that have not fucked up.
Well,
Everyone screws up, but
I'm
you
glad
guys
you
did
didn't
not.
notice.
So it's the hard work is paying off.
well,
Subtle.
I'm very glad to hear that. I mean, we definitely pound these songs out. I mean, you know, it's not something where, you know, we like go to practice and we're like, all right, you know, jam a couple songs. You know, it's like play the set list like we play it live. You know what I mean? Like give each other like a minute in between the tune, and then it's right into the next song. You know what I mean? So it's something that, you know, I mean, we really.
You
try
guys
to
do club. How many songs do you have?
Oh, Jesus! At this point, I mean, like our album has 11 songs on it.
And you only fucking gave us 6.
And we have an EP.
Son
Our
of a
first EP
bitches.
has 6 songs on it. We just released our second EP that has 5 songs on it. So, I mean, just alone there, you have 22 songs. And then we have a bunch of songs that we're working on right now for a record that we're going to be
Is it
recording.
just all
next year.
online? There's no CDs or nothing?
We do have physical CDs for our first EP in your house. We're going to be.
Why don't I have one in my house right
Yeah,
now?
Why?
I don't know. You can. He's the one. He's the one that holds
When we're
it.
coming in to record the Cream Tunes, I'll drop them off.
All right.
This can be arranged.
Done.
Here's the
Sign.
purple ball. You dropped it.
But we're doing.
one job.
We're planning on probably. Maybe doing like we're thinking of doing a limited cassette run for the EP that we just released.
My buddy Jeff just sent me a bunch of cassettes from his band.
Did he?
Cassettes are cool.
Yeah.
Like, they're awesome to
Skeleton
look
of
at. But like,
God.
who has a cassette player anymore? Though?
I do.
I do.
I mean, some people do. Like,
Yeah.
most like I Bluetooth everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the
I
only.
just like to have it on my shelf.
I was about to say.
I like
mean,
to look at it.
I was about to say the physical media aspect is something that a lot of people are getting back into, and I mean, like,
Yeah.
if you're looking at the sales numbers, I mean, cassettes have been going up year by year, and if it can be something where you're ahead of the curve for
Didn't
it.
vinyl outsell just CDs last year?
Oh yeah,
Oh, I don't even know.
by a long rate. I'm sure of it.
I got buddies still collect CDs.
I do. I collect all physical media. I mean, DVDs, CDs, vinyl, tapes, everything. I got everything at home. The whole stereo system.
Got a basement
with a
full of
receiver.
porn.
Yeah. Playboy mags. You know.
I
It's
stumbled
gotta be
across
70s big bush porn.
the old Jackie O bike seat porn.
Yeah, I like 17th century bush. It like starts at her belly button and ends at the top of her butt crack.
I stumbled across a box of shit last year, and I have a cassette that my band recorded at Paychecks 25 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even have a cassette player to play it. I don't even remember what songs are on there or anything.
That's so funny. Give it to me. I'll play it at my house, and I'll make.
You may not have it. There's one copy. Should we take a little break?
Yeah,
Play
we'll
some,
take a break.
Play some letters from Abel.
Let us from Abel.
Sicker than a dog in the cold. I'm coming out alive from the fall. Numb and paralyzed. Got no soul. I'm staring in your eyes of acid cold. I know nothing of your pain, and I'm just stuck in my fucking brain. And I no longer feel so strong, and I'm sicker than a dog. Sticking through the mud, fucking days. It's taking a very long time to find my way. Got no time at all. Feel okay. I never come back home anyway. I know nothing like I should, and I must be misunderstood, and I don't know where I went wrong, and I'm sicker than a dog. I know nothing of your pain, and I'm just stuck in my fucking brain. I don't know where I went wrong, and I'm sicker than a dog.
Hey, this is Nuke from Nuke in the Night Shift, and you're clocking into Detroit State of Mind. Don't forget to check out nukeinthenightshift.com on our Facebook page for our online store and current events, and check out our videos right here on Detroit State of Mind. Enjoy the show.
We're back. And we're back.
Just like that.
So what was that last song about?
Like that.
You know, that last song was about, like the last song that we played, the very last song.
No, the one we just played.
The one that we just played?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. Probably about something that we were not happy about.
About a chick or something?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. What is your lyrical based on?
I try to use a mix between real life scenarios and shit that I
Satan.
come up with in my head.
Anger.
You know, yeah, just kind of just a whole bunch of different shit. You know, I mean, I'm definitely not opposed to. The one thing I like doing is kind of setting, like, you know, this is what the song's about, but it's in broad terms. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to listen to the song and kind of dig into it. Like the song that, you know, maybe this is the last song that just came on, but our song "Frown." Is about
that's the song we just played now, apparently.
Well, then there you go. Our
you
song,
may talk. You may speak.
Oh, I'm not doing that much work.
So, our song "Frown" is about having depression and having anxiety and stuff, and it's kind of in a broad, you know, like term in the lyrical sense. But if you
How old are you?
I'm 21. So it's kind of in a broad, you know, aspect. So it kind of lets you kind of paint that canvas by yourself. You know, I kind of like the listener to be able to kind of take it in their own terms of, you know, like if it means this to you, then that's what it means, you know. But I kind of write it my own way and just want people to interpret it however they interpret it, really.
That makes music good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
21, eh?
Yep.
I don't even know. We used the word anxiety when I was 21.
I don't think it existed.
Probably not.
Neither did fucking people being allergic to peanut butter either.
It's just
when I was a kid, I didn't know. I know anybody had a peanut allergy.
That's so.
We never even talked about it. It was nothing, and it didn't exist.
I went to like
People just died.
I went to school with like yeah. People were just like,
What's wrong with Billy?
Here's this Reese's cup, and he was just not there.
Can I get
the
his
next
peanut butter
day.
and jelly? I only
Modern
took
medicine
one
did
bite.
not exist.
Yeah, no.
The aspirin just came out.
Yeah, I went to school, like elementary school, with like 6 kids that had peanut allergies.
I
So
remember cars when they first come out.
yeah, brand new, right off the line.
They only had
LTs right off the line.
They only had 3 wheels.
Oh yeah.
The 4th wheel wasn't invented yet.
No, it was still in the works.
Yeah. Like, hey, this is probably some pothead. Like, dude, you throw one more on there, man.
Fuck, we'll call it a car, man.
Balance is fucking way better.
It's looking really good. It's looking mad solid.
Something mobile, man. Well, we'll figure it out later.
I have to pee. Talk amongst yourselves for a
Why
moment.
did you do that on the break?
I didn't have to pee then.
Oh no.
30 seconds.
How could he do this?
So, when's your next gig?
Our next gig is November 4th. Yeah. November 4th. That's next week.
Playing with anybody we know?
Oh no, it's not next week. In the week. Yes.
2 weeks away.
You just interviewed them, Catharsis. We will be playing with Catharsis.
You guys are cool. I wasn't here for that one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was during.
My kid got married that weekend.
Hey, well, congratulations.
They're pretty good though.
Yeah. We've played with them a few times.
The big guy. What the hell's his name?
Aaron.
Yeah, he's cool as shit.
Yeah, Aaron's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Well, he was here for us. So.
Like I said.
Whoa! Am I here?
And that's when I walk out.
Slam the headphones on. I'm fucking out.
Well, that was the coolest 12-minute interview ever.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be playing with Catharsis and a band called Blacktooth up at the Diesel in Chesterfield.
Oh
So-
shit! That's down the street from my house.
Yeah. So
Is that
we.
Well, I
Blacktooth
live in Marine
Militia?
City,
Is that
but-
the same band or?
No, I think it's just Blacktooth. So
Oh, okay.
I think it's just.
They doing Pantera tunes.
I don't know.
Smile that Blacktooth grin.
I was about to say, if that's like a Blacktooth Grin reference, I get what you're coming from. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever really seen Blacktooth or we've played with those guys.
Yeah, wasn't
so-
it Dimebag Darrell was what? Crown and Coke. They
Yeah,
called it the Blacktooth.
Blacktooth Grin, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Now you know. No one's half the battle.
Listen. Oh, that's my best TikTok thing.
G.I. Joe.
So musical influences. What do we got here? Where does Letters from Abel? Like, where does all this conglomeration of musical influences? How does it become this band?
Pearl Jam, right?
A little bit.
Everything.
I was about to say, I mean, we got a lot. I mean, you know,
Peter,
I
Paul,
mean,
and Mary.
for me personally,
Jesus.
I mean, I know I take a lot of
The scriptures.
I take a lot of influence from
Psalms.
Nirvana, from the Misfits, from Kiss. And I mean, a lot of different bands. I mean, I love 90s music in general. I'm a huge fan of bands like Garbage and REM, and I love Sonic Youth. I know they're kind of more like 80s than 90s, but you know, I love
awesome live.
I love those bands, and that was really what, you know, in my like latter teens, that was really what catapulted me into being like, I want to write music like this. So I mean, for me, that was really the turning point, was kind of like 80s punk and like 90s grunge and all, you know. But I mean, also having influences like, I love the Beatles. The Beatles were one of my favorite bands, and I love
Stones are better.
I
Fuck
can't.
that, Beatles.
I have to have
Stones.
a heavy disagree
It's
with
like
that.
disagree.
Yeah, me too.
I have to have a
Beatles.
hefty disagree.
Let's
with
thumb
that.
wrestle after this is over about it.
I don't have to thumb wrestle with you. I can just point at the fact that the Beatles all had successful solo records after, and nobody cares about Keith Richards' solo
Yeah, but half
records.
of them are dead.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
They
you
don't
know,
stand the test of time.
They're all old. So,
Fuck up, dude.
they don't,
Physically, they do
they don't
not.
stand the test of time.
They
Poor
were so
John
bad,
Lennon.
half of them had to die.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they were so good that they couldn't stick around for long.
Oh, that's a good argument.
Hey, what can I say?
Well, Dime and John Lennon were both shot on the same day.
They were.
I didn't know that.
Wait, say that again?
Dimebag Darrell and John Lennon were both shot on the same day. Yeah.
On the same day.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Because like John Lennon was 1980.
Not on the same day. In the,
date.
Oh,
yeah,
December
yeah,
7th? Is that what it was?
Prop maybe. Yeah.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
But I mean, these guys got a bunch of different influences.
Yeah, I think one of the things that makes us so unique as a band is like there's so many different influences. It's hard for us to stick to one to one influence or one kind of sound because there's so many different, you know, things going on in each of our like individual playlists. You know, we're each listening to a lot of different things, and we're all into a lot of the same things too. Like him and I were both really big on REM. We both love REM.
I was a big
and,
fan.
They're a
for a
great
long
band,
time.
man.
Love REM so much. I think Michael Stipe is one of the greatest songwriters of all time, and Mike Mills is actually one of my biggest influences on bass too. But you know, there's also things like those two are really into like System of a Down. Kate and I are really into Talking Heads.
Talking
And
Heads
so-
rule.
Love Talking Heads. And so like there's a bunch of different.
Why is
stuff.
David Byrne always so sweaty?
Because he's
if you're
working.
Not, if, I was about to say, if you're
Putting in
not
that work.
if you're not
He loves the
seeing those
cocaine. He
dances-
loves the cocaine.
He's cracking out, man. He's right.
He's wired up, man.
I don't know if you've ever
It was the
seen
80s.
the Stop Making Sense documentary, or it's not a documentary. It's more of like just a live show.
Yeah, it's a great.
thing. But yeah,
That's
it's
only just starts out in the acoustic
Yep,
and the band
yep,
gets bigger and bigger. Yeah,
yep,
that's a
yeah,
great
so
shit.
good, but
Along
yeah.
with his suit gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. The whole time he's literally just running around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane the energy that man has. I don't understand it.
Imagine that music scene when it was them and Blondie and
Absolutely.
fucking other bands all playing
Prime
CBGBs.
time.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
where,
I
that's
was about-
where I'm at.
that's-
That's
I was about
like
to
all
say
my
that's Kate's,
influences.
yeah.
Blondie.
I love the like 80s punk and then,
Blondie is a
like,
way overlooked band.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, seriously.
Yeah,
all
they're
the
they're amazing.
songs like that people just don't even know about.
I mean, Debbie
Like,
Harry's an icon. I mean, just
Seriously.
an absolute icon.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the B-52s as well.
I love
Yes,
the
yeah,
BT.
absolutely.
That guy's voice always annoyed the
I
shit out of
fucking
me.
love that band, dude. They did a whole album with like little kids' toys.
Really?
I like
Yeah.
that.
Because they're awesome like that.
I was about to say, really, really creative shit though. But
They're probably just high.
But yeah, you know, from
Or
like
a song. I don't know if they did a whole album, but
yeah, maybe. But yeah, from like, you know, the punk and like glam rock influences, and like I'm super into like Motown and R&B,
Oh,
and you know
shit.
he's into a lot of the 80s pop and punk, and he's really into blues and stuff like that. You know, it's just like a big mesh of different things, so it's hard for us to
it makes for good music if you guys can get along.
Absolutely, man.
yeah, you know, it
Is
all
there anything that somebody listens to that the other guy's like, can you fucking turn that off?
no, really. I mean, like the thing is that like the,
Wu Tang Clan.
Yeah.
I love Wu-Tang.
I
Don't give a
love
fuck.
Wu-Tang is
love
like
Wu-Tang.
I don't-
one of my main influences.
I actually don't know
Which one? The RZA, the Jizza, Raekwon, Ghostface, ODB,
I mean,
Little DB.
if I gotta, I love like his son, but he's really cool. But
That kid
I love-
annoys me.
I love the Jizza. I mean, Jizza. I
Yeah.
love his album Liquid Swords.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Killer
best.
shit.
It's one of the best rap records in the '90s, and I mean, like, it's untouchable. Wu-Tang Clan itself is untouchable.
I listened to a Raekwon record the other day. I never listened to it before.
Oh,
man.
fantastic.
Dude, it was so freaking good. man.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are all so talented in their own rights. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. And then when they come back together, they're just as good too.
Yeah.
But I mean, one thing about this band that's really been stressed since the get-go is that it's like I picked these guys because it was like in our age group, these are the four that not only, or the three that not only did I get along with the most, and that these guys are like genuinely my three best friends, but they are three of the most talented musicians that I've ever met in my entire life.
Dave, play some tender music over this, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
A small violin being played between my fingers. But you know, they're so talented, and I've told them from the get-go, you know, like, I want you to do what you want to do on this song. You know what I mean? Like, it's all up to you. And I mean, especially like when he came in as the lead guitar player, I mean, like, you know, he was one of the best lead players I'd ever played with. I'm like, you got the keys to the castle, dude. I play what I play.
You got some licks,
You
son.
play what you play.
Yeah,
you
he
know,
does.
and I mean,
Welcome to
If you
Detroit
start
State of
telling
Mind.
people how to play
Tender
their instrument,
moments.
they're going to get pissed off
Yeah.
at you, and they're not going to want to play with you.
Exactly. And I mean, beyond that, it's just like we are all open to input. We have all turned to each other and been like, you know, like, I feel like this might work. You try it out, and you're like, fuck yeah, that sounds great. You know,
Yeah,
what
if
I
it
mean?
doesn't work, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, exactly,
You know?
exactly. But we've all, I mean, he's given me vocal input. I've given him drum input. He's given me guitar input. We all give each other input on what we're doing. And it's never the thing of like, fuck you, that doesn't make any sense. It's just like, hold on, let me try that. And it try it, and it works. And we're like, oh, fuck yeah. And if it doesn't, we're like, nah, that kind of sucked ass, actually. Let's not do that.
The tried and true method has always been if one of us doesn't like it, then we just scrap it.
Yeah.
And always, 100% of the time, something better comes along
Yep.
to fill it in. Whatever that idea was, if one of us doesn't like it, we're just like, all right, let's just come up with something different. And 100% of the time, whatever we come up with was leagues better than whatever was there before.
You know what's going to happen? These guys get along so well, they're going to break up next week.
Yeah.
I guarantee it, man.
It's going to happen.
I mean, why wait?
One of
We
them's
could
going to end
just-
up being the George Harrison
How
of
about
the
just-
band.
how about
You
just
never
do it
play
now?
my
Yeah.
shit, man.
All right, well, it was cool.
Yeah, right?
But
And
Two bands
we
that
got-
broke up after being here.
really,
Yeah.
that's interesting. It's
Yeah.
not us.
Unfortunate.
But two other bands did get record deals,
Well, you know,
all because of us.
I can only hope for the best. I can only hope for the best.
Expect the worst, though.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
not going to
Break here,
happen.
baby.
Yeah, then you're never disappointed.
Expect
But I mean,
nothing, and you won't be let down.
It's like Ben said, you know, I mean, this is the way that I've always described a band is, you know, 4 or 5, however many, you know, members you have. You're all like gears in a machine, you know. If one of those fucking gears stops turning, then the fucking machine stops working. So
Yeah.
it's like he said, if one of us doesn't fucking like something, fucking done. Move on to the next thing, and something better will come out of it. You know, it's not like.
So you guys don't even like try to expound on it? Like, okay, this is okay, but like, let's try this with this?
I mean, like, we'll definitely take ideas and, like, you know, mold them into different things for sure. I mean, we're definitely not just going to be like, you know, like, we have to take all this and fucking scrap it. I mean, there's definitely been plenty of parts where we've been like, well, that riff is still kind of cool, though. We could use that as a bridge riff or whatever, you know, like an intermission part. You know, like, we take parts and cut them down a lot.
And then you'll forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think more so the point is that like everybody's heard.
Yes.
So there's no like one person.
Even the
that's,
drummer?
Like,
Yep.
Even the drummer.
Especially the drummer.
I mean, like, so there's no like one person that's like, oh, well, I don't know if I really like that.
Screaming at you about your paradiddles.
And then they get upset, and you know.
That's the worst
it's
word
just-
ever.
I don't know. We just all like listening to each other.
Yeah,
honestly.
no, that's the truth. It's the truth. You know, everybody's input.
Welcome to Detroit State of Mind, Tender Moments.
We pride ourselves on
Can you
those.
jack up that snare by like 1 dB? Really not feeling it
Hey,
on
bud,
this one, bro.
could you put your pants back on?
Your flies down.
I was
It's
getting
not
hot.
that kind of party, man.
You know, when you guys walked in, I thought you two were brothers.
You stole my red lighter.
I mean,
We're not brothers by blood. but
Yeah.
We're brothers by creed.
him and I.
Testify.
Testify,
This is true.
We're definitely. We're definitely all. I'm like, whoa. We're definitely all brothers here.
Yeah.
But his family kind of adopted me. I'm not gonna
He
lie.
dropped in a butt.
I was.
But-
yeah, I was stranded in the wastelands of Detroit, and they found me and took me in. So yeah.
Nice.
He was staying in Luigi's
His
mansion.
family kind of adopted me.
He was.
Wait, he was staying where?
We
He
don't- I
was
don't like
staying in
my
a.
new-
So he was staying
His
in this
family
apartment
adopted me, and I don't like
complex.
my new mom.
No, it's mids. But
mean.
he was staying in this apartment complex downtown that was like so haunted and so roach infested, and it looked like Luigi's Mansion, the Nintendo game Luigi's Mansion. It,
It
literally
I never
looked
played that
car-
looked just like,
cartoonishly like
I was about to
Luigi's
say, like,
Mansion.
it was only like every night you'd pull up and like it could be a beautiful night downtown. There's not a fucking cloud in the sky. You pull
Except
up
over this building.
Exactly. Like you
Raining
pull up
on
and
that
it's like
house.
fucking gray and you're like, God damn, like I helped him like get the last of his shit out of there and we were like, you gotta fucking like, dude, you can come stay at my house if you need to, like, and but yeah, I mean, it was interesting, but yeah, I mean, he makes a good point in the essence of we're definitely all brothers. I mean, you know, the one thing that I wanted to do going to school was make a band with not only talented musicians, but like I said, but with the people that I got really close with, and it just so happened that I got to actually be good.
Sometimes life works out
musicians
that way.
with them, you know.
You guys ever get into arguments?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're humans at the end of the day. You know, I mean, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but at the end of the day, it's never like.
You ever throw your guitar down like, fuck this, I quit. Fuck you, I'll see you tomorrow.
No, it's never. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing that's we're all kind of. You know, I mean, obviously everybody's got like, you know, the heat of the moment and shit. You know, everybody's got that moment where they're
It's
like,
called a period.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and
Are you spotting?
so.
Blood burp.
I hate it.
But I mean, you know, we
I hated that. He said.
not good, not good.
There's certain things that get to
Blood
him.
belts.
He yeah.
Should write a song called Blood Burp.
I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
I lost my train.
Sorry, man.
The first album, Blood Belch.
I have a hard time
just
shutting up sometimes.
No, I just kept thinking of Blood Burp. That's all. It was just in my head now. I
That's a
just
great
couldn't
name
say-
for a band.
Blood Burp.
Yeah, just a grindcore band called Blood Burp.
Or just clot.
Blood Plume.
You know, we're all adults here.
Are we?
Right.
I look like one.
Everyone gets into scraps. Everyone gets into arguments and disagreements. But the thing is, with us, you know, we all know how to, you know, take a step back and chill out.
Yeah, if you're
for a
friends, you
second,
can argue, man.
Yeah,
It happens, you know. I feel like if you're not arguing or disagreeing or butting heads every now and then you're not really doing it right. You know, if you want to.
Yeah, if it's all sunshine and baby farts and
Exactly.
rainbows.
There's
and
really no point.
that ain't life, man.
It's because, you know, like writing the kinds of songs that we like to write, where there's, you know, we like to make them as complicated as possible for no reason.
This is true.
You know, it gets really frustrating trying to do it. Sometimes it gets frustrating when you're trying to communicate your ideas to, you know, the other guys, because, you know, you yourself might not really know how to.
I like to add all
you
the
know.
extra shit in.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know,
Not so much.
It's fun, but it gets frustrating. So you gotta you gotta be able to take a step back and just be like, all right, this can be done, but you know, you just have to chill
put the
out
work
about it.
in.
You know, it's worth it in the end. It's worth it.
Yeah.
The finished product is always worth the trial and tribulation. But you know,
Just to hit that last note and have that smile on your face, like that was
exactly.
fucking awesome.
You know,
Exactly.
I always
That's
try
a
to
good
remind
feeling.
myself that, you know,
Then you look around, the other guy's like,
exactly.
"Are you feeling this too, man?
Yeah,
like this is
let's feel
fucking
it.
great."
Yeah, I don't see
Good
how
for you,
bands
good
like
for me.
Boston could be a band. Them guys never talk. They fucking hate each other.
I always said that
Really?
about the.
But they made great albums.
The last two
You know?
tours for White Zombie, like the rest of the band took one bus and Rob took another bus. Like, how the fuck do you play like that? Didn't say a word to each other on stage, and then they just get off stage, get into their buses, and just drive to the
Isn't
next
his
show.
whole
Can't
band just
imagine.
like hired guns though? Like,
Well, yeah, but I mean,
They are
now they
now.
all at least don't fucking hate him. So I mean, like, you
Right.
know, I mean, that's a bonus.
Did you hear John 5 might be taking over for Mick Mars in Motley Crue?
No,
What?
I keep hearing like word about
I
this.
just literally
This motherfucker likes to get paid.
here's my take.
Well, Mick Mars is like 94 years old.
I just
though,
don't.
too.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Motley Crue still exists.
Yes, like
Thank-
why
well,
they need to keep
valid.
going. Like
Money.
I like.
Dude,
here's-
the Vince Neil video is one of the funniest fucking
dude,
things
it's
I've ever
like
seen. in my
I-
life.
Mac
Sucks.
103.
like respect to those guys.
Under the bleachers. Watch out.
Like, oh god, he sounds like Bob Dylan. But
No, Dylan's better.
well, yeah, Dylan's great, but I mean, those like the whole. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, respect to them for the groundwork that they laid in the Bay Area, you know, and or not the Bay Area, in Los Angeles in the '80s, and you know what they did for their scene, and I mean for rock and roll in general, and doing so much. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
ain't the money still there? Like,
Didn't they like sign a contract a couple years ago? Like, we're never gonna tour again.
I
blah,
thought
blah,
so.
blah.
They came out with
They
that
made a
big press release.
Yeah, they made a big poop about how they're gonna break up. Did
you just say poop?
Yes.
Yeah. I did.
Kiss has been on a farewell tour for 30 years.
Dude, the Stones' first farewell tour was 79.
Don't get me started talking about Kiss and their farewell. Oh god, I hate the two bozos that play with Kiss now.
Who? Gene Simmons and
Yeah,
Paul Stanley?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yes, very right. Very right. Yes, exactly.
Gene Simmons is probably the most arrogant piece of crap
That
I've ever
exists.
seen speak in my life.
I agree with that completely. I mean, like, if you are a Kiss fan and you disagree with that, you're just licking boots.
Yeah,
you're just licking
you're
boots.
lying
you know?
yourself.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like I was always. I mean, I got a Peter Criss tattoo right here. I was always a Peter
The
Criss
first
guy.
three
like I
Kiss
said,
albums
I
are
wanted-
gold.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, you really can't beat him.
What are the songs Peter Criss sings? He does Beth,
Black?
right?
He does Beth, Black Diamond. He does. I mean, he's
There's another like
Hard Luck Woman.
Hard Luck
Hard
Woman.
Luck. Oh, dude, so fucking good.
It's literally
man.
amazing. It's one of those, like, it's a voice that I've tried to replicate my whole life, is like Peter Criss. I love his voice, and I mean, Christ sake, I have his like solo record. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I'm a big Peter Criss guy, and especially, I mean, my brother really liked Ace Frehley growing up. Me and my brother really loved
Love Ace
Kiss,
Frehley.
and that was what we, that was our whole thing growing up. And
Don't read the book though, because it'll ruin your hero for you.
I mean,
the guy's a total douchebag.
I know. I mean, the thing is that, like, at this point, it's 45 years old and they're all still pissing about it, and it's just like, if you're gonna do it, close the doors. And I mean, you guys have enough money for your kids to
yeah.
live more than well, so let's just tuck it up and let's all just be happy. You guys are in the hall now, everything's
Yep.
all good. Like,
Bye-bye.
exactly, like,
You
you know,
got
and I
fourth
mean,
generation. I got old Kiss money.
at the end of the day, the thing is that at the end of the day, bands like Motley Crue, bands like Kiss, they're taking up spots that could be used by bands like us or Catharsis or Cyanide or any of these young
But
bands.
sadly,
that could be,
people go see these fucking bands.
exactly.
man.
But that's the thing, is that the thing that a lot of people need to realize is
They
that
built their
it's.
fan base though, man. You got to
Oh,
give
of,
them
cour-
that.
of course, I mean, you can't. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't.
the army
obviously
is
say
strong.
That they
People are
didn't
gonna get
deserve
paid,
it.
man. And fuck, I keep playing.
I
too.
mean, obviously, you can't blame them for doing.
I
what
wouldn't
they
call
do.
it a farewell tour
all,
for 30 years.
all
but-
I'm saying is that if you're gonna stick around like this, if Motley Crue's gonna stick around like this, if Kiss is gonna stick around like this, then the least you could do,
Practice.
not only practice and not play to backing tracks, but
Yeah.
go and, it's so fucking easy for Gene Simmons to come out and say rock is dead. Why don't you go fucking bring out a new young rock band to open up for you, instead of bringing, fucking Def Leppard or whomever, whoever
Yeah.
big goober that you got with you, some other 70-year-old that you played with back in the 80s. Go grab the new rock and roll and show people, hey, rock isn't dead. Here's the new generation. We're passing the torch to these guys. Think about it like what Ozzy did to Metallica. Ozzy brought Metallica on tour, and that was like, just brought them to a whole new level of people. Ozzy has always said that was the hardest act to follow up in his early days, was them in '86, the last tour with Cliff Burton. It's like, it's something that it's like, you will gain so much from that. People don't understand the dividends that you get
Pass
from
the
other
torch,
people.
man.
Yeah, that from other people just doing well. You can't just sit there and hate on others and just bring people down. It's like I said, Gene Simmons is so adamant on being like, oh, rock is dead, this, that,
Well,
and the
because
other.
he thinks they're the best fucking rock band of all
Exactly,
time.
exactly.
And they're wrong.
Yeah, oh, of course he is, but I mean, it's just ridiculous. The fact that these old bands want to stick around and won't even give an answer to these younger guys, it's piss poor. It's really piss poor.
It might not be the band so much. It might be the promoters, the
Possibly.
record labels, like
You-
all
Oh,
that
it's
shit.
the money men
Yeah.
for
But
sure.
I
Yeah.
think the other thing is you can
Those guys
always-
aren't setting ticket prices.
Yeah, of
and
course,
all that
of course,
shit.
Def
no.
Leppard brings 30,000. You guys bring 30.
Yeah.
right, exactly. I
Well,
think
it's
the other reason.
But how much money do you fucking need, though?
all of it.
all
Never
the money
mind.
that you can get. I think another reason that goes into it is like you can always tell when these bands are doing what they're doing and for what reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times, like bands like Motley Crue, Def Leppard, they're going back on tour for all the wrong reasons. It's about the money. You have other bands out here like Alice in Chains, for example, who are still going. They're still evolving as a band. They're still
Yeah.
loyal. They're
That
still
new
loyal
singer's
to their
pretty
fans.
badass,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Duval's
So
a bad
good.
He's
boy.
bad. He's bad for sure.
And those have to be some tough shoes to fill, man.
Exactly, but
You know,
that's the
you're
thing
expecting Lane Staley, and there's
they're not.
I don't even
Why
know his
are
name.
you sober,
William
dude?
Duvall.
Why are you sober?
huh?
They're not
Right.
trying. They're not trying to be who they were with Lane because
No.
Right.
Lane has passed on.
But at that point, shouldn't you just rename the band though to like something else?
No, I think
I-
honestly, here's the thing. What Alice in Chains is one of my favorite bands, and Jerry did Alice in Chains alone for 5 years without William, and did it by himself and did his own
He was
thing.
doing. He was singing all the
Yeah,
vocals. And
yeah,
everything?
yeah, he
He
did it.
sounded a lot like Lane Staley though. So.
He did.
almost
I mean,
identical.
he has a great voice, but the thing is that William Duvall, like he said, isn't trying to be Lane Staley. He's not. He's coming in there and he's adding something new that Jerry's wanted for a long time. Not only are his vocals amazing in contrast to Cantrell's, but his ability to come in and bring in that rhythm guitar playing is
Right.
second to none. I mean,
Yeah.
it brings in such a dynamic that they have been missing forever, and that they always talked about wanting an additional guitar player and stuff. That I think that if anything, and Jerry said it multiple times, that Lane wouldn't have wanted them to stop doing what they're doing. He would have wanted them to keep going. And I mean, if they say, I mean, I look at it in the essence of people do things in different ways. When Kurt died, Nirvana was done. When Lane died, Jerry took his break and knew that he wanted that to continue. And if that's what he thought Lane wanted him to do, he would have known that best. And I think that what they're doing with William is different enough, but good enough to be doing what they're doing.
Still in the
under
same
Alice in
vein,
Chains.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and I think that, you know, Alice in Chains has always been kind of Jerry's band anyway.
Mhm.
You know, kind of Jerry and Lane, but, you know, I feel like it would be different if, you know, Jerry wasn't in the band anymore or whatever, if they tried, if they, you know, still carried on as Alice in Chains, because it really...
Yeah, there's like one original member or some shit.
Yeah, it wouldn't really be Alice in Chains at that point, you know? So
Some bands lose the voice and it's over, though.
It's like,
Exactly,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Like, you couldn't have Pearl Jam without Eddie Vedder.
No.
Right.
You
no.
can't have
that's-
Soundgarden without Chris Cornell.
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
you
even
know?
like Metallica. Can you imagine somebody else singing like James Hetfield?
No.
I mean,
Some bands can do it, and some bands definitely can. I'll say that for sure.
You got to
know?
be doing it for the right reason.
Yeah, I was about to
You
say.
got to know when to throw in the towel. When,
Mhm.
you know, when it's like, all right, there's no reason to be doing this anymore, except just, you know, for the money or whatever.
yeah.
But I mean, we went and saw them this past summer, and I mean, they sounded. I've seen them. That was my second time seeing them. I saw them a couple summers prior when they came with Korn, and I mean, that was incredible. I mean, like, it wasn't like just sitting there and being like, wow. It was like, holy shit! Like,
so
they are playing their asses off. Like, it was
Yeah.
impressive. It was really, really impressive.
I listened to the. You still talk about Alice in Chains, right?
Yes.
I listened to that new record they put out. Was it like a year or two ago
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that? And it was actually really freaking impressive.
It was
like,
awesome. It
Never
was
heard it.
different, but it was like
Yeah, I was expecting to go in like, oh, there's Lane Staley 2.0 voice, whatever. But no, it was next level, man.
Yeah, I agree.
We're taking another break.
Letters from
This is Jeff from Devil Worshipper and Skeleton of God. You're listening to Detroit State of Mind.
I look back and it seems
donut grease and whatever.
And we're back.
Peace, love, and Donny Osmond.
Just like that.
Peace, love, and Marie Osmond.
That's a snap of the finger.
Maniac.
So venue-wise, what is like the coolest gig you guys have played?
Ooh. I think we could all probably go around and say our own little opinion on this. I love.
Will you allow that, Justin?
Nope, no. Actually, I've changed my mind. I retract that statement.
Should we just zoom the camera in on you?
Yeah, I'll just.
Okay.
Okay, so
Dave, take notes here.
yeah,
So-
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
90 zoom, Wayne's World zoom on my face, please.
He kind of looks like Cliff Burton too. Now that I think about it.
I'm cool with that. I can live with that. That I can live with.
I don't see it.
Squint.
Squint.
My
Shut the
see-
lights.
I
Shut the
see
lights.
Tracy
Shut the
Chapman.
lights off. Tracy Chapman.
I see Tracy Chapman.
oh nice.
He probably does have a fast.
You got
car.
a fast car? Yeah. You got a ticket to anywhere?
I drive a Volkswagen.
Show off.
Show up.
Show off.
Fucking German.
What can I say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Personally, I love going out to the Blind Pig in Ann Arbor. We've played out there pretty frequently, and it's not anything like super big or anything super glorious. But at the same time, we've always played out to good crowds.
It's got
in Ann
prestige
Arbor.
though too.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
it
I was
does.
about to say, and
Famous.
to be at the same stage that so many fantastic bands have played at, and especially the likes of Nirvana and people that I've wanted to step in the shoes for a long, long time.
How's the sound on stage? I've never played there myself.
Incredible. The sound guy that has worked there for a long, long time, and I mean, he
Just nails it.
it's unbelievable. I mean, like, it's literally second to none. I've never played
Tell you
another.
to turn down?
No, he's absolutely.
I like him already.
He's unbelievable. I mean, it's like you run a song for him, and he's like, "All right, yep, sounds good." And the whole time he's sitting there and he's mixing, and I mean, you're never ever lacking anything. Everybody that comes to the show is like, "Fucking sounds really good, man."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just always really, really nice to go
Always
out
wanted
there.
to play there.
That can be the difference between a good show and a bad show.
Absolutely.
That sound guy. If that guy's on his fucking phone texting, not even
Yep.
paying attention, man,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a bad night.
Jesus wept.
Agree with the Blind Pig. The Blind Pig is always a
All right, you can't pick the same venue.
oh, I can't pick the same
No, you may
venue.
not.
Oh, goodness.
He changes the rules a lot.
You fucking A right.
The rules have changed, and now I have to change my answer. Let's see. I'll circle back.
His gears are grinding over. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't say the same thing."
I'm going to make up some shit. I'm
Right.
going to make up some
They
shit.
have the best sound. I can hear everyone. So I can't like.
We played at Target in Boise one time. No.
I'm gonna have to go with Denny's. Denny's. Shout out to Denny's.
Fucking place was a Grand Slam.
We're going to.
Moon's over my
We're,
hammy
we're
to
trying
die
to have
for.
our own
Moon's
Denny's
over
Grand
Miami.
Slam pretty soon here. We're just trying to figure out and line
It's a
up
goal.
the Denny's. We'll find one. But
We're going on a tour, just Denny's.
Denny's tour is happening.
Have you seen those videos?
Y'all get home, weigh 300 pounds.
No, but I think we mentioned earlier. We played the Diesel a couple times and quite a few times actually, and that's always
We played the big stage at the Diesel's pretty badass.
We have.
Yeah, we played there too.
The
It's-
sound is night and day different, man. Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
We've had
We
a
played
couple
both
times.
stages, but
We've had a couple times that we've played the big stage, and it kind of depends on who you get on sound. Sometimes
Really?
it's good, and sometimes it's bad.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, man. You would think you're playing that stage. That guy better be dialing that shit in,
Hey,
dude.
you'd hope so, huh?
Right?
It's all right. That was a night.
But for the most part, in that on the smaller stage, the sound is usually top notch.
How'd you feel about playing here today?
That I felt really good. That was very
Terrible.
very very good.
They're terrible. Well, you were never invited back.
good.
Ben, anytime, brother. Anytime.
No,
I'll be here.
I thought that it sounded really great though. But Cade,
Honestly,
I think I know his answer.
Your mom's basement.
I'll just have to say the only show we ever played in my hometown, and it was the very first show that we played with this guy, and it just I don't know,
It was
it
really
just
special.
the pieces like fell into place. We were playing at like the only music shop that was there because I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, so way up north.
Is that like UP or?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Yep.
Isn't there like a foot of snow on the ground up there right now or some
Already,
shit?
probably.
Yep. Probably. It's
You
about
still have
that
family
time.
up there? Or?
Yep.
They're probably hating life right now.
Oh yeah, and then I have
No, you have to like that
extended-
to live there.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You got to be
You'd have
okay.
to-
You have to be okay with it.
You'd have to embrace something, man.
You learn
Suicide's
to
always an
endure.
option.
Yeah,
You
long
learn to
underwear.
endure.
Long underwear and suicide and pills.
Yeah.
You hang on to those 2 months of summer as long
2
as you
months.
can.
2 months. That's about it, too, though. You'd be the best 60 days of our lives.
There's no fall or spring. It's just
But yeah, no.
Just
that
graduated. Can't wait for it to snow in August.
Oh yeah.
Swimming up there's like fucking jumping into a cooler full of ice.
Oh god, no. Yeah, there's like a whole thing for it. Yeah, we all jump in. There's like the ice challenge where it's not like the ice bucket challenge, but it's just
polar
like where,
bear
yeah,
challenge,
everybody
right? Yeah.
just jumps in. To,
Yeah, my heart would
the
stop if I
ice-
did that
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, no.
Hell no.
I've jumped into
I
freezing
got a lump
cold
in my
water
throat. Used to be
before.
my
Yeah.
testicles.
You completely stop breathing, like it takes all the air
Oh,
out
yeah,
of you
fuck
and
yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a lot of good fun. That's a great time.
But honestly, to his point on
Got
the show,
shrinkage.
a big shout out to Zach Crook
Oh,
from
absolutely,
Crooked
yeah.
Music and the Sault Ste. Marie. I mean, like he said, the only music shop up there, and I mean, he's absolutely tremendous. I mean, he's fantastic. I mean, Zach himself is a really, really great musician, and he's a collector of all things awesome horror and music itself. And he's just a really, really great dude that's doing a lot of great shit for that community. And I mean, being able to have a music shop up there is, I mean, that's a night and day difference. You know what I mean? That's the difference
Yeah.
between somebody being able to play guitar and somebody not knowing anything about music. And he is so well versed that you can go into Crooked and find some shit that you would not find anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Is he like the only game in town up there?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Literally.
Are
the
you
only-
fucking sponsored by this guy or
No,
what?
no. I
No,
just,
he's just
honestly, he's just honestly a fantastic guy. Like Zach treated us really well when we went up there, and I mean, he's really, really awesome. And I mean, like I appreciate anybody that's willing to spread music to anybody, and the fact that he's from the Sioux and has just always really wanted to be a part of that community. It's something really special, and I just think that it's something
on.
that should always
Yeah,
be appreciated.
he runs sounds for like all the local gigs
Yeah.
for the most part. Like,
Is there any kind of
He's-
scene up there at all?
I mean, there's a little bit. They're trying. There's there's a couple bands and stuff like that, and the
Every
casino.
person in
How
town
many
has a
people are in
guitar.
that town? 10 grand?
Well, the Coing Casino, they also have like a few big names. Usually, and when a band is washed up, usually they play there.
Right.
So,
Or if you're
like
Jeff
I've seen Tesla live.
Danny
there.
Bonaducci. I've seen Tesla there a lot.
So yeah, I mean there is like a surviving music scene. Honestly, it's gotten a lot better over the years. Like more and more people just want it. Like it's a small town, but it's like the biggest one in like the surrounding area. So it's pretty cool, honestly. And I was glad to bring these guys up there.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience.
it's
Drake,
a hometown.
Cool place. Can't wait to get home. It's cold.
Drake, what about you?
Oh, are you doing the interview now?
Yeah,
Okay, carry on.
actually.
Should we swap seats?
We can do that.
He's taken over.
I did sit in with a band. Who did I sit in with? Like somebody
M1
left and I went and sat and went with them.
M102.
Oh yeah.
90210.
My favorite
E-I-E-I-O.
gotta be when we did Aretha Franklin's Jazz Cafe.
Oh, that
that
was
one
really
was
cool.
we prepared.
Urethra Franklin? Really?
Yeah, it's the one downtown. We prepared like a whole acoustic set, and we played like a decent chunk of our songs.
Yeah, we did.
All of the songs acoustic.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And yeah, it was just a really fun night. It's a really nice little club they got down there.
Is it like a
Very
coffee shop
fancy.
type
Yeah, it's
environment?
like
or?
It's a little jazz
bar,
cafe,
We
yeah.
got
Yeah.
a little bar. It's pretty nice.
It's
really-
amazing.
it's
Are we
really dope.
boring you, Ben?
Oh,
Are you bored?
Is he yawning?
I'm.
Yeah.
Is it past your bedtime?
It is.
It is
It's actually
actually.
past my bedtime.
This
No, it
man's
is 5
sleep
o'clock.
schedule.
So
It's his midday
Oh,
nap.
yep.
is it time for a wind down?
It's time.
It's Sunday. I probably would have caught me a nap today.
It's time for baby's
Yeah,
nap.
Yeah, I didn't even know that place existed.
It's,
It's
in-
Yeah,
super
I've never
cool.
heard of it either.
it's inside the Detroit Music Hall, the Symphony Hall downtown. It's
That's super cool.
yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was obviously named after Aretha Franklin, but she was her.
You
You got a
think?
suit and tie it or what?
We were a little fancy. I don't know. I don't remember what we did.
It's
I
it's
wore a
obviously named
polo
after
shirt.
Aretha Franklin. No shit, man.
Well, yeah, but
I
her
had my piano key
her
tie on and
estate,
everything.
her estate, and her foundation were a big part of it. And it was just cool to be down there, and there's so much history down there. And in
How did
the-
you guys get that gig?
So we're lucky enough to our last EP that we just recorded, Perfect Disaster. We were lucky enough to record it at 54 Sound, which is a beautiful studio in Ferndale, which is where Studio B is where Eminem recorded the 8 Mile soundtrack. It's the same place that we recorded our EP.
Well, la-di-da.
And our
Pinkies out, motherfucker.
Our engineer Steve Kapp was the last person to cut Aretha Franklin, and he's got.
Why they get in a fight?
Yeah.
She died,
Gave
dude.
her a slice.
now I gotta cut you.
And so he has a lot of connections in Detroit, and
Well, I would think so.
his intern, who's a wonderful girl by the name of Izzy Savitas, one of the most talented bass players around.
More so than Ben?
I don't know.
Look at I see the tear well. Look at he's welling up.
Listen,
I
I would
can
pit them
admit-
against each other.
It would be
I
it would
I
be
love
an interesting
Izzy.
bass
Izzy's
battle.
one of my favorites, but I you know.
Base
But
off.
we got to play with her down there
Pants off, bass off.
because of their connections and stuff, and we were very lucky to be a part of that bill. They invited us out there, and that was something that we were super happy to be a part of. So a big
that's
shout out to
awesome.
them, but a big shout out to Steve Kapp in general for the work that he did on Perfect Disaster, because that was something that kind of was like a spur of the moment thing. I mean, that record got wrote in like 4 weeks, and we went and recorded it in the studio in 2 days. So I mean, like, it
Let's
was
go pump out an album real quick.
Yeah, I mean, well, we played on.
Is there a lot of I wish we'd have done this and I wish we'd have done
No,
that?
no. Actually, I mean, we met Steve through Tony Green, who runs a show out of the Russell Industrial Center called Hyped Up Live Sessions. Tony Green has played with a bunch of different people. He worked with Death Row Records in the '90s and stuff, and he's played with Snoop Dogg, he's played with Mary J. Blige, he's played with a lot of great people.
Damn.
And we met him when we were playing Hyped Up Live Sessions. Izzy was on the bill, and we didn't know them yet. And after our set, Steve was like, you guys are fucking incredible. Here's my card. Like, if you guys ever want to do something at 54 Sound, like, I'd love to have you guys out there. And, like, even if you guys just want to come out and, take a little tour of the place, and, I'd love to just have you guys out there and, sit down and chat. And we were like, yeah, sure. So we set a meet with him.
Sounds super cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. We sat down, we set a meet with him, and, as soon as we got in there, we see the board, and they have a Neve, which is one of 3 in the world, or one
Right.
of 2 in the world, actually. The only person that has the other one is
Dave
Mr.
Grohl,
Yep,
doesn't he?
Mr. David Grohl, yep.
Right.
And that board was actually owned by Mr. Geddy Lee. It was the board that was in the studio. It's the board that they cut all the records off the 70s and 80s Rush shit. That's the board. And so, I mean, obviously, we're fucking awestruck. You come in there, there's the fucking platinum M&M plaques, and, they're like, Jesus. And so he sat down and he's like,
I'm just Justin.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? You're he's
oh my God.
but he's like, you guys want to make a record? And we're like, fuck yeah, we want to make a record. And he's like, you guys got anything? And, we got a lot of music that we write constantly and shit, but nothing that was like finished at that time. We're like, yeah, we got a record.
Fuck,
First
fake
of all,
it till you make it, baby.
Yeah, if somebody gives you the opportunity, you fucking lie through your teeth, dude.
Exactly. And so we took it, and we spent the next 4 weeks just crafting the songs that we wrote. And Livable and Perfect Disaster, obviously Perfect Disaster is the title track, but Livable was the other single that we dropped off the EP, and we played both of those for you guys today. And the record just came out awesome. It was something that, I mean, we had 10 hours to record the record. That was our studio time that we booked out, and we spent 5 hours one day and then came back 5 hours the next day and just banged it out. And I mean, Steve is a fantastic producer. I mean, since we didn't spend that much time on it, he was like, you guys gonna be able to do this to a metronome? And we're like, we don't have time for that. No, we just gotta cut this shit live. And he was like, him being such a professional, he was like kind of apprehensive. He's like, I don't know, like, he was like, we'll try it and we'll see how it goes. And we tried it, and he was like, I'm gonna shut up and let you guys do what you do, man. And we were like, all right. And so we just kind of started cutting the songs, and I mean, after 2 days, we had a fucking record made. And I mean, Steve did a fantastic job, not only producing it, but mixing, mastering. I mean, he's just an all-around, absolute fantastic guy to work with, and I couldn't recommend it anymore.
I have nothing else to say on that one.
That was a good rant.
Damn. All right, should we take one more break, then let these guys get out?
Hi, this is Screamin' Scott from 101 WRF. Well, in this crazy, pretty much fucked up world, it's good to know that when I want a little bit of sanity and some crazy, crazy talk, I could tune into the Detroit State of Mind podcast. And I feel, I feel like I'm high. It's awesome.
We're dead.
Hilarious.
And we're back. I might just leave all that in.
Please do.
Yeah. So what's
what-
the big goal?
Oh,
You guys
go ahead.
want to be famous?
I mean,
Is that a goal, or you
here's-
just want to be?
Here's the thing.
I want
Here's-
people to know who I am.
Here's the way that I look at it. Here's the way that I've always kind of garnered what life is and the essence of what we're trying to do.
You guys in agreement with him? Because he does all the talking.
I do not agree with him at all.
No. Yeah. Ben's the complete opposite to whatever I'm saying.
Yeah, I think anything that comes out of his mouth is total bullshit.
Yeah, it's just a lie. This is a front.
So now you can swear, but you said poop like 5 minutes ago.
He picks and chooses.
It was a front. It was a front.
It's a front.
You thought I was innocent and not follow.
I was wrong, sir. I apologize.
Yeah,
Sometimes
you better
poop
be
is the
apologizing.
Sometimes poop is the correct
I'll
word.
get my ass kicked
Yeah,
over
poop
here.
is the appropriate word for sure.
But
Scat talk's got them all fired up.
my goal is at the end of the day, I mean,
He's like so uncomfortable.
I'm not searching for fame and fortune. I'm not searching to be on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. At the end of the day, the way that I've always summed up music and what we're trying to do with our career is, I would be comfortable if I could just wake up every day and music pays my bills. I
That's
don't
your
have
job.
Yeah. That's my job.
I want
Doesn't
to play
matter if
cool places with cool people and not suck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I want.
As the way that I kind of look at it is, obviously, like I said, music paying my bills. But at the end of the day, the way that I look at life in general is, it doesn't really matter what you're doing, as long as you can wake up every day and not want to fucking take your own head off. That's being successful. You know
Amen,
what I
brother.
mean? You just got to be happy in what you're doing, and this makes
If
me
you're
happy.
dreading getting out of bed,
Exactly. Then you know that your life isn't what it should be, and you got to change it. But
Yep.
this makes me happy. This makes me want to get out of bed every morning, and I would be fine if this paid my bills. I have always said that I would rather play in a venue that has 500 people packed to the fucking gills singing every word of my songs, rather than playing in a venue of 20,000 people that are like on their fucking phones like, oh man, this is
Yeah.
great. Like, just don't give a shit about what I'm doing. I'd rather have motherfuckers that would die for what we're doing and be as passionate about it as we are, than go out and play to a bunch of people that just don't give a shit,
Yep.
I just want people to appreciate what we do.
Yeah.
We've had people come
Appreciation
up
ain't
to us.
gonna pay the light bill though.
No. That's
I'm
true.
just saying, man.
But no, we've had people come up to us after a show and be like, "Hey, man, I was having like a really horrible, shitty day, and you guys really changed that around."
See,
for
that's
me,"
cool, man.
That's something that we really take to heart. That's in essence why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've always said.
Wouldn't it kind of suck like to be super famous? You can't even walk down the street at all. Besides, getting mobbed
I've
every
always thought
freaking day.
that. I've always thought that it'd be like,
I would
damn,
hate that.
I'm just trying to get my Starbucks order or whatever, and
Right.
people are like, oh, I don't know.
You're a bass player, not gonna know who you are.
That's
You're good.
exactly correct. That's why I chose. That's why I chose the instrument, so that people would leave me alone at all times.
The only reason people know who Geddy Lee is because he was the one singing.
Exactly.
He's ugly as fuck too.
That motherfucker jams though, dude.
Yeah, he does.
Monster.
They're talented.
Rich hates
I
talent.
I don't like. No, they are talented. I just don't like the band.
That's
They're
fair.
super
fair.
talented.
It's fair. Some
is
people
awesome.
can't get into like them singing about wizards and trees talking to you and shit like that.
I don't smoke enough weed yet.
Exactly. You gotta.
Yeah,
How the fuck am I
at least
supposed
you
to
got a
listen
goal,
to this without
brother.
drugs?
Oh, believe me, I'm on it. Don't worry.
I'm of the mind where I can't listen to Pink Floyd without being on drugs. I can't.
I love
can't.
Pink
If
Floyd
I
is
listen to
boring.
Pink Floyd and I'm not on drugs, I'm like, this is worthless.
You listen to the wrong albums then.
Yeah, I agree.
But what were you gonna say, Drake?
I was just gonna say something in reference to the original question. Something.
What was the question? I forgot.
don't know, man.
What do you want? Like, what do you want from
Oh,
this?
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you want to be rich and famous?
What do you want from life?
I just want to play music with my lads and not die.
Yeah.
My lads.
And it's harder to do than you'd think.
It is.
You
How?
know?
What's that? Not dying?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like, in a perfect world, we could just play our music,
Mhm.
and people would give us money, and that would be great, and we could just go home.
You better wake the fuck up, Jack.
Yeah,
But that's the
a
thing,
perfect
yeah.
world. But the reality is, you have to absolutely work your ass off in about every area that's not music.
Yeah.
Just be able to play the music
Absolutely.
and not die.
Yeah,
So
you are correct, sir.
that's kind of a realization I've come to. And like I said, like, I'm not trying to.
We're all
be
exposure rich.
Super famous or rich. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Like, I
Just
just
playing,
want
it's good
to
exposure.
live.
Yeah, I mean, one thing
What,
that
exposure millionaire.
one thing that kind of opened my eyes recently, and it's the whole reason that we're really it was one of the main reasons why we decided to go to New York was I have an older brother who is 16 months older than me. He's basically been like
Going to New York.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't need too much reason.
We went
behind
to
it, but-
Cleveland just to go to Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, but this was kind of the fuel to the fire.
We'll
I
tell you
guess I
about that
should
bar
say.
off mic.
That's worth it. So I was talking to him, and this was like right as we had just finished recording the Perfect Disaster EP, and we were listening to the first mixes and stuff, and he was like, well, how do you feel about it? And I was like, oh, I feel pretty good. Obviously it's going to, sound different through the second mix and through the masters and stuff, so it's going to sound different than it does now. And he was like, well, what do you want from it? And I was like, well, obviously I just want people to enjoy it, and
Shoebox full of 20s?
Yeah, exactly. But I just want people to enjoy it and to, just actually want to listen to it, and he was like, no, I get that. And he was like, but what about, like, your guys' live shows and stuff? And I was like, well, we're working on that and, our dynamics and what we want to do with it. And he goes, I don't want you to take this in a bad way or anything. He was like, and I don't want you to think that. He was like, because, I mean, my brothers come to most of our shows. I mean, my brothers maybe missed, like, 3 Letters from Abel shows in history.
Here comes the brutal truth.
He was like, I don't want you to think that. He was like, I don't think down on you guys or anything, but he was like, I want you to know that. He was like, he's seen a lot of artists grow. He's seen a lot of artists that he followed from, being nobodies to being very, very popular. And he was like, the one thing that I've always noticed is, he was like, where you guys are right now. He was like, you're playing shows in an area where you've grown up, Metro Detroit, and people see your posts and, they're sitting there and they look at you and they're not like, oh, that's Justin Abel from Letters from Abel. They're like, oh, that's Justin from high school's band, or that's Justin from college's band or whatever. They associate you with what they know you from, and he was like, you guys.
So how do you change that?
That's what I'm getting to. He was like, you guys gotta go somewhere where people don't know who you are, where people don't know anything about you. They can't go, that's Justin from high school. They're like, who the fuck is that kid? The only thing they know you from is the music that you're playing on stage. You guys got to go somewhere where people don't know who you are. And that made me think for a long time.
And you got 45 minutes to make that happen, too, or whatever.
Exactly. And, it's a great first impression. And so I talked to him later that night, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm having this, like, greater feeling like we got to do something. Maybe we should go to New York. I feel like we should go to New York. Like, we should try to make that happen. And he was like, well, fuck trying to make it happen. Let's just do it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And he ended up meeting a friend of ours named Sarah, who is a photographer that lives out in New York, and she's kind enough to let us sleep on her floor. And so we've got a place to stay, and that's all we needed. And so we booked shows out there, and we're going to be out there from November 17th till the 21st playing shows and just spreading the word of Letters from Abel out there. But that was the main influence behind it, and really our driving point of trying to make better and better for us and just strive for
That's
better
cool
and better.
as hell, man.
I appreciate
That's super
that.
freaking cool.
Decent.
I was about to say, these two are Trailer Park Boys.
I fucking love it, man. It's all the water under the fridge, man.
Water under the fridge.
Earlier, somebody said something, and I almost went smokes and chips.
Let's go, Trevor. Smokes and chips.
Smokes and chips. All right, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
we
us.
appreciate
It was
you guys
fun.
so
We need you to
much.
do the.
Oh, yeah, do a drop.
I'm so and so. I'm so and so. I'm so and so. I'm so and so. Name of the band, and you're watching Detroit State of Mind.
All right.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Nobody has got it in one take yet.
Never.
We've rehearsed this. We can do it.
No, you didn't.
Are you doing the closing, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So what did you?
Yeah, I like this guy more and more.
What did you need me to say for the end of it? You're watching the Detroit State of Mind podcast.
We are.
Yeah, we're Letters from Abel.
Okay.
And you're listening to Detroit State of Mind.
Okay.
Do like a 3, hello, 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 hello. Detroit State of Mind.
So, all right.
Yeah, do some barbershop shit. That'd be tight.
Start at your end since I'll be finishing.
Look
it.
at my enormous penis. You ever heard that? Dude, it's the best barbershop
good.
quartet song ever.
No. I feel like I have heard that. Anyways, all right. I'm Drake.
I'm Cade.
I'm Ben.
I'm Justin. We're Letters from Abel, and you're watching the Detroit State of Mind podcast.
Best podcast ever.
On the planet ever.
Now get out of my house.
Peace. No, it's get the fuck out.
Oh, get the fuck out, my bad. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
man.
you.
guys
Thank
are
you.
Great.
Me and you, through the
I'm Dave, and he's Rich. And thanks for tuning in to the Detroit State of Mind podcast. Join us again next week for more shenanigans and probably a lot of fucking swear words. Good evening. Sleep tight. Don't let the fucking bed bugs bite. All that other good shit.
With the Detroit State of Mind podcast.
The Detroit State of Mind podcast.
Detroit State of Mind podcast.
The Detroit State of Mind podcast.
Fuck you.
I wish they'd play my band. I doubt it.
Fuck you.
What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton?
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Jesus Christ. Maniacs.
Jesus wept.
The Cenobites gave me an experience beyond the limits. Pain and pleasure, indivisible.
The pain of being dead. Not people, brains.
Stop killing the dead. They're mine. If you don't want the dead coming back to life, why don't you just kill the living? Shoot them in the head. Are you listening to me?
Becomes one of them. It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill.
Because they still believe there's respect in dying.
Solved the box. We came. Now you must come with us. Taste our treasures.